Hello, hello. I was distracted by the fact that my funny friend Michele, it's not showing me on the main screen there, so I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. Hi Marco. Hi. Tough week. Tough week. I am almost falling asleep, but I'm not drunk, Mordante. Not drunk at all. Big news of the week. Yesterday, actually today at 9 past midnight, right? Julia's baby was born. Welcome in the world, Emma. Also, welcome back, Adriana. Just, she's back from the maternity leave, so hopefully it's like sliding doors. One goes out, one goes in. It's like interesting facts of our funny company. Hello, everyone. Hello, Mordante. Hello, Das. Hello, Torfino. Hello, Puki. Hangover? No. Hello, everyone. A reminder that on January 31st January, all your Slit points will be reset to 0, and you'll start again. We are preparing a brand new Slit store. I've seen files being shared, ideas being shared, but to be very honest, I know nothing at all about it yet. So I can't tell you how it's going to be set up. Do we have our guest? Do we have our guest? Yes. So I call the trailer first, right? I know stuff. I need to cheer up myself. And we'll come to the elephants and the rooms later. But before we get to that, I want to give you big updates on one of the most anticipated games we've got next year. No, not Broken Arrow, but a really cool one. I have a guest today, and before I come to the guest, I will show you a little trailer that's for Headquarters World War II.
Headquarters World War II is a fast-paced, turn-based strategy game set during the Normandy landings period of World War II. You can play as any of the 3 factions in the conflict: the United States, Germany, and the United Kingdom. Experience the finest details and striking visuals of the game, including grasslands riddled with shell craters, war-torn battlefields, and devastated cities. A diverse range of units is included in the game, each carefully researched and balanced for historical accuracy and engaging gameplay. With infantry, towed guns, tanks, and armored vehicles, you'll have a wide array of troops to command, reflecting the complexity of forces in this pivotal period of history. Challenge your tactical skills with a combat system that is easy to learn but hard to master. Pay attention to terrain elevation. Use destroyed vehicles, fences, and large objects to your advantage as cover, and destroy buildings to flush out your enemies. Flank the enemy armored units to attack them where their armor is the weakest. Land a crushing hit against their side or back armor, capitalizing on their exposed position. Don't forget to upgrade or change your units between battles, level them up, and assign heroes to grant unique abilities. Each unit has a crew, and losing different members during a battle results in different penalties. For example, losing the gunner means you'll have fewer attacks, and losing your driver means you'll have to deal with reduced mobility. Harness your HQ skills, such as calling for artillery or aviation support, and leverage officer skills to improve your combat tactics. Ready to test your skills? Beyond the captivating campaigns, you can engage in skirmishes on 6 diverse maps or explore a multitude of user-generated maps. Creating your maps is a breeze, whether you use the straightforward random map generation tool or the more sophisticated editor tool. For added creativity, combine both methods. Generate a random map, then fine-tune it in the editor. But that's not all. Headquarters World War II supports multiplayer battles for up to 4 players, offering real-time connections or the option to use Slitherine's Combat HQ system. Still not enough? Utilize the editor tool to create your own skirmish or multiplayer maps and share them with the community for endless fun. Brace yourself. and join the fight.
I'm happy to see that Mordante is excited about something, but I have a guest today. So hello, Alexander.
Hello, Marco. Hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
How are you? How's things in your corner of the world?
Well, things are tough here, but we are all right. We keep going and we work hard to deliver the best game we can.
Yeah, you have been working hard over. I think it's been about a year since we had you on a live stream, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
you have been working pretty hard on a number of things. Can you let us know, in general, what are the big improvements you added to the game and where you are in the development cycle? Although don't make any promise.
Sure. That's the first thing any game dev learns. So basically, a year ago, we showed you a multiplayer match played by the dev team. So we had 4 people playing multiplayer, and we had some a shortened version of it shown a year ago. So as you could guess, the game was already in a pretty decent shape back then. But of course, there is always a room for improvement. So we were mostly focusing on further work on multiplayer. Just to make sure that all the features and everything works well. Another big chunk of work was working on editor tool and random map generation. With editor, it was really tricky because in most cases, developers just share the editor they use to create maps. But in our case, we are doing a separate editor for users only because we use Unreal Engine editor. And we cannot just use that it's not very user friendly. So we are basically creating editors that the players could use. So that was a lot of work. And also using that as a basis for the random map generation tool. So that was one of the big chunks. Those were big chunks of work. But of course, we also were polishing all 27 campaign maps. So we have 3 campaigns, 9 maps in each. So just making sure everything was perfect. And also testing out skirmish and everything. So a lot of work over that year. So that's just a quick roundup of our progress. But there is, of course, a lot more to tell. I just don't want to be going on for hours.
No, absolutely. And one of the questions, the most important question, Alexander, is: are the pigs still in?
Yeah, sure. So the pigs are saved. They were an endangered species at some point, but now they are, we made sure they survived, and now they are in good hands, and no worries about that.
Good stuff. Listen, in terms of where you are right now with the development and what you're currently working on and what is left to finish before the release of the game, can you sort of shed some light about it?
Yeah, sure. So one of our big focuses right now is to make sure we improve in the skirmish and multiplayer AI. Because right now we are satisfied with how the AI works in campaigns, but there is a lot of improvement needs to be done with AI in skirmishes and multiplayer. So that's one of our key focuses. Also, we are going through all the feedback, both internal feedback and the feedback from the beta players, and organizing all of that and going through a lot of quality of life improvements. So let's say we have some features, but they may not be perfectly clear. So we are just writing the manual, making sure we have all the hints, everything, so that everything is clear. There is no so if we can add some useful UI element to help players easier understand what's going on in the game, we do that. So I would say we focus on a few key areas. such as like continuing with multiplayer stability and improving AI in skirmishes, and also all sort of quality of life improvements and polish. And of course, we are getting ready to start the voiceovers and localizations because I think a lot of people were worried that we wouldn't have any voiced lines, but no, they would be there at release. It's just that we don't have them currently, but we are working on that. So yeah, so that's what's going on right now with the project.
In terms of the beta, this has been going on around one, I would say, of the beta, which is very close. It's not a lot of people, but what were your main takeaways from that, and how did they impact the development schedule overall? Were there big changes? Were there big inputs that you thought, this is really cool, we should put into the game? What was the the process there?
Yeah, so we ran the first round of beta in the summer, so it's quite a while past since then. So it was immensely useful. So first of all, big thanks to everyone who participated. If you are watching us now, you really helped us a lot. We've got lots of useful feedback, and we had to sort it through. So basically, it's actually very interesting because sometimes there are small things that can impact a game in a large way. So I will give you one example here. So the number one feedback that we've got, like from, let's say, half of the players were saying about it, is just that the biggest trouble they had, of course, there were lots of different issues and so on, and I don't want to diminish anyone's suggestions and ideas and various problems they reported, but I would say that number one in terms of frequency was just a simple one, that players didn't understand what kind of infantry unit is sitting inside the truck. So, for example, we were showing that there is a unit inside, and there was different icon for infantry units and for towed guns inside a vehicle, but a transport vehicle. But the idea is that there could be we have a lot of different types of infantry in the game. So you see that there is an infantry in a truck, but you don't know it's a sniper, it's a mortar team, it's a machine gunner, it's a flamethrower, it's a scout. And it's really important for your tactical decisions. And we don't want the player to just go, clicking through all the units to get the idea. So it's just a simple thing to add an extra UI element, but we needed to design that for all infantry unit types so that the player could see at a glance clearly who is sitting in what truck. So it might be very straightforward, but it's hard to implement it without overloading the UI sort of. And so there are a lot of considerations, but we clearly realize that that's something that all players want and all players need. And it may sound like a small thing, but it really changes the way you play because it's much more convenient for you. So it's just one example, and we had dozens and dozens of things like that. So I think we already implemented some of the improvements, especially in the UI area, but there are still some things that we are working on. And right now the beta 2 started, so we are combining the feedbacks that we haven't implemented yet from beta 1 and things we are hearing during the beta 2, and basically making a list. And there is always things you have to prioritize because you cannot do everything, and you need to start with the most crucial and most needed features and then go down the list. So there is no guarantee that we could implement all the useful suggestions that we've got, but they won't, we are not going anywhere, and the game will be out there for years, and we would be working on it, and we'll keep improving it. And even if some more minor things might not make it into the game before release, we can add them after release. So please don't worry if you don't see your suggestion or something, it may still come. So that's how things are going with that.
You've mentioned round 2 of the beta now, which is, I think it's undergoing, right? It's actively happening
ongoing.
Right now.
Yeah.
Do you already have some takeaways from that, or is it too early to say what your
No, actually, I'm happy to share some numbers. So I guess especially if there are some players from the beta, I'm happy to share. So when you in the beta, every beta tester can fill out a questionnaire form, and we do read each of those. So, but I have some like generalized statistics based on that, so I can share some like general stats. And I also want to encourage everyone interested to join the beta and help us test the game and help us make the best game possible, especially with the holidays looming, or rather coming closer and closer. It might be a good way to spend some of your free time during the holidays. So give it a thought. Okay, so just let me look through. So here I have some statistics. So I will start with beta 1, which is the summer one. And there was a question of what's your overall impression of the game? And players could rate it like 1 to 5, from poor to awesome, basically. And so we had 10% saying that it's average, like 3 points, 52% saying that it's good, and 35% saying that it's awesome, like 4 and 5. So basically, I would say that like 85% of the players were quite happy with what they've seen. And did Beta 1 meet your expectations? It was 45% better than expected, 28% much better than expected, and 21% just as I expected. So only like 7% said that it was worse than they expected. And how did you find the technical state of the game during Beta 1? 28% very good, 59% good, and 10% decent, and 3.4% poor. So basically, the majority of the player, I would infer from that, were quite pleased with what they saw, but that doesn't mean they didn't have any suggestions or complaints or things they would like to improve. And this doesn't mean that we are like, oh, great, everyone are happy, let's just, sit back and relax and do nothing until release. So that's not where this is going. It's just very encouraging for the team to know that people are happy overall with the game, but they might have some, some things here and there they would like to change or improve on or help us make better. So that's very useful for our team, and it's very encouraging for us to see such, that, people are enjoying the game in general. So yeah, and for the ongoing beta, we don't have as many responses yet. So I encourage everyone who participates in the beta to fill out the questionnaire. And you can do that by just when you launch the game, there is a message about the beta and there is a feedback button. So when you press it, you go to the Google form and then you just fill it out and we get your response. And there is not just, as I've said, like good, bad. There are also fields where you can make your own input, like you can describe any feature or any suggestion you like, and we read all of that. We have all of that on our lists and everything, so everything goes to us, and we study that very carefully. So for the ongoing beta, also we have what's your overall impression of the game, and there are some new people, so not only ones who played beta 1, but also some new players coming in. So 40% say it's 5, awesome, 30% saying it's good, 4 points, 20% saying it's average, and 10% saying it's below average. And did beta 2 meet your expectations? 50% better than expected, 30% much better than expected, and 10% just as expected, and 10% worse than expected. So while there are some people who are unhappy or had some issues or some technical problems probably, but they are in the minority, and we are working to solve the problems they mentioned. So hopefully we'd have even higher percentage at release.
So, Alexander, I think that you're approaching to sort of the last the last mile, this famous 10% last 10% of game development that is usually taking 90% of the stress. So what is it that you're planning for next year? Can you give us an idea of when you think that the game around, just a ballpark idea of when the game will release, or do you want to sort of save your judgment for that?
No, we are quite confident that there is not so much work left to be done before release. Of course, we wouldn't stop supporting the game after release, so our work would continue. But right now, we are working to round up all the new features or improvements or things we are doing. So, and after that, we would just focus on bug fixing, polishing, and as we are joking internally, when you add some new feature, you create new bugs. So when you stop adding new feature, you stop doing new bugs and you start fixing the old ones. So we are approaching a point very soon where we would just, so now since there is beta going, we are gathering all the suggestions, we'll filter the most crucial ones, we'll implement them, and from that point onward, we will be just making sure the game runs stable, making sure multiplayer works well, making sure editor and random map generation works well, making sure everything is as polished as possible, doing voiceovers, doing localization, and getting ready for this in time. So, I wouldn't be taking your bread, Marco, and announcing the release date today. So I will leave it to probably one of the next broadcasts for you. But I'm pretty confident that the game can be released within very reasonable amount of time. So there is not so long.
Your list of things left to do is not short. So but it's definitely in the area of the finishing stuff. So it's for sure something that we're looking forward to see more news about in the coming weeks. To answer Yuliug question, yes, campaign design is over, it's done, it's been testing for a while now. So Yuliug, if you want to join the beta, do so. Just subscribe to the beta on slitherine.com/beta. And anyone else who is interested, we're waiting on you and your feedback. Alexander.
Yes, sorry, Marco, just one more thing about the beta. So I would really want to encourage everyone to play more multiplayer and to give us more feedback on multiplayer. And, sometimes I also could play multiplayer. So if you want to play with me or with someone else from the dev team, there is a chance of that happening. So join the beta, join our Discord. And if you're not afraid to play against the devs, who had definitely much more time to learn the game, that's also a possibility. So keep that in mind.
We can circulate an email asking the devs to let you win. That's a possibility.
If you ask Marco very nicely, he might do that.
Alexander, I've got a question from Mordante, who's I take the opportunity. Mordante is not asking stuff about Field of Glory, which is a big luxury for me. Do the squads have names, or are they generic?
You mean like individual units, right?
Yes.
So since it's a low tactical level, so we cannot say it's 23rd Division, because it's literally a small scout squad. So it's a section or something. So those are usually not named. So of course, when we are designing the campaign plan, we are usually following the path of a given division or something in general, just to keep things historical and follow the logic of the events. But in the actual game, especially when you play skirmish or multiplayer, your tank is one tank. So if we were to do that, your whole army or your whole force would be one unit, because historically larger units were named, and in headquarters you control tactical level battles where you fight for an outskirt of a village or something, like taking over a bridge. So your tank is one tank, your scout squad is just 5 scouts going to do some recon. So that's why they don't have names, but technically, you could change your unit's camouflage, you can rename units, you can customize units. So you can change the name of a unit and name it in any way you like, basically. So.
Alrighty, we'll probably organize a dedicated question and answer in the future because there's quite a lot of stuff in the chat, and it would make a lot of sense for anyone who's interested. Maybe pulling in some people from the Discord as well to come in and or give feedback from the beta as well. So in the meantime, thanks for joining us, Alexander. It's been great talking to you, and well, good luck with the rest of the development, and we look forward to seeing more in the very near future, I say. So keep some surprises up your sleeve for the moment.
Sure. Good holidays to everyone. Happy to be here and enjoy the games you play.
Cheers. Thanks, Alexander. Where am I looking? Here. Thanks, Alexander. I have been following headquarters since very beginning, design phases, and since it was like the question was, is this Battle Academy or is this a new game or whatever? And I can see it developing into a really cool product that will blow your minds up. I think the idea of making a game, a turn-based strategy game of this level, of this quality, that's also looking stunningly good, is going to help a lot of people approach a genre that maybe scares some of the less used players for war games and such. So. Thanks for joining us, Alexander. It's been great to have you. We've got a number of other topics for you guys, and I wanted to make sure that I also thank the chat for not mentioning French tanks for the first time in 6 months. Or did anyone mention French tanks? I hope not. So. Final Blitzkrieg scheduled for December not until January. Planet Brain 73, we're not planning to do it until January, but it's going to be one of the very first releases of 2024. So watch out for that. With surprise on Blitzkrieg, definitely. Okay, so we're talking about sexiness of British tanks, and I will not be commenting on that. There was a mention of French tanks. Of course there was a mention of French tanks. You guys are... Oh, what a patience. Panzer Corps 2, you guys know that we've just released the 1946 campaign. Thank you for supporting it. It's been going very well. Very happy about the results there. I mean, there were like doubts, is a fictional campaign going to work or not? You guys have got, I've given a huge yes to that question. It's been very successful. So thanks for giving us a support on that. Also, a big surprise on that, there will be a 1947 free scenario released before the start of the Christmas sale. This scenario called Escape to New York, there will be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, single scenario ever released for Panzer Corps 2. The map size is over 2,000 hexes. There will be over 500 units participating in the scenario. It's going to be huge and massive. So guys, and it's going to be free to play. So make sure that you take full advantage of this. This is sort of your last big Christmas holiday gift from Kerensky and the development team of Panzer Corps 2. I think it's going to be something that we're going to stream massively as well, because it's really cool to watch. 1946 has mixed reviews on Steam. Do you still consider it a success? Yes, I do. Usually DLCs are a different kettle of fish in terms of how they are reviewed by players. So sometimes, the actual reviews of a DLC are not really matching the commercial success or whatever. Basically what happens on Steam is that there is a sort of some sort of one-to-one correlation to your reviews and product success and all that kind of stuff. It works, we've got algorithms to sort of figure that out. On DLCs, the number of people leaving reviews are minimal, and sometimes, and they're focused on, of course, the negative, because they want to give their contribution, a critical contribution to the game, because they're true fans if they get DLC. So it's a different type of feedback. So I'd say that sales-wise and feedback-wise, we're very, very happy about the success of the game. What month next year am I going to find out about the new? Okay, Master of Magic. We have just announced the second DLC for Master of Magic. You see it on our website and on Steam. The second DLC for Master of Magic is called The Scourge of the Seas, which is introducing a lot of new stuff, basically. We have 4 new wizards. There will be a whole new sort of gameplay level, allowing you to play very much like water-based environments. There's a lot of more exploration to do. You have this is sort of the type of DLC that really adds a lot of gameplay to the experience, and I'm very happy that we can. The Muha Games have been developing something that goes far beyond the the usual, like, hey, here's more content and such. It's like adding a lot more gameplay to the Master of Magic experience, and Scourge of the Seas is going to release in Q1 next year, so hopefully in around February, March time, and we're starting to roll out the news and all the information about this, and we'll drip feed all this through development diaries and product updates in the coming weeks and months. So stay tuned on that. Orc Pirates, Tentacle Stories, yay! And no French tank. There's a new geek recipe, geek recipe. We have this thing in the marketing department. No one can properly pronounce geek recipe. There's a big fight over this. I wish I can come with my colleagues here and everyone can pronounce it in a completely different way. But there's a big new show coming up in a week's time, Vinzo? In about a week's time, with a massive guest. So watch out for that. Special holiday episode. We'll tell you how to cook your Christmas lunch. Oh, who's there? We've got Martin Wood as a guest for our episode 3 of season 2, and he's going to tell us a lot about his experience in directing Stargate and directing a lot of holiday movies as well. So it's going to be really cool to watch. Watch out for that in about a week's time. There's a new dev diary there's a new dev diary available for ICBM escalation. Now, I have to say that Marco is not very well these days. He's been staying homesick. So in the notes, he usually adds a lot of comments to, I've added a new development diary with this characteristics and this content and so on. This time I've got like 2 lines that I don't really know what we're talking about. So if you're interested in knowing more about ICBM Escalation Development Diary number 4, go on the website or on the Steam product page and check it there. The CW module for Final Blitzkrieg? Mordante. You don't ask questions. Marco is the Grinch that stole Fog 2 information. I like to being the Grinch. I'm the Grinch with my kids, so why not being the Grinch to you too? How many spoils has Marco gifted us today? I'm keeping my mouth shut today because I'm making more damage than anything else. Last week there was no tea time. Sorry guys, there was no tea time, so I couldn't do a special about the release of Valorant Victory Pacific. This has been the latest DLC for Valorant Victory. Look at this sexy artwork. I just love it so much. It's really, really cool. Big props to Admi Real, who's the Argentinian artist who's doing all these wonderful backgrounds for Valorant Victory. I just love them. He's really, really good. But anyway, Valorant Victory Pacific released lots of new stuff, of course, because this is the first time we sort of leave the European theaters with Valorant Victory. So all new units, all new scenarios, a lot of content, a lot of new stuff to play with. It's very cheap as well, so you can grab it on Steam as we speak. It's out there. We have also new tournament going on. The first round will start on Tuesday, December 14th. Is that tomorrow? No. Tomorrow? It's today. Today. So just is it still available? Can people still subscribe to the tournament or not? Enzo is checking. You have to think this is the scene. I love it. It's like in here it's like freezing cold. It's like really, really cold because there's no heating inside. So beyond the cameras, there's Enzo. Enzo has like a coat, a scarf, a hat, and he's looking at me like he's like Santa Claus. No, it's already started. It's already started. So the Valorant Victory Tournament, if you want the Valorant Victory Tournament, wait for the next one. Also, we're doing a big live Christmas show on Twitch on December 23rd. So big props to Yogdog, Hexaboo, Sergeant Z-Dog, Das Tactic, and Richard York, who will help us do this Christmas jingle jam Twitch live stream where we're going to play Gladius, and we're also going to give away a lot of Steam keys for Gladius DLCs, so don't miss that. And on Yogdog on the 25th. But you have to Yogdog special live streams. Yogdog special live streams are here. Hello Yogdog, how are you? Yogdog is playing basically every day from now until the new year. And he's playing, should I state them all, or are we going to put them on Twitch? We'll put them on the Twitch schedule, but watch out for spending a lot of time with our favorite strategic command player of all times.
The important thing is that he's going to have like a live show with a giveaway.
Okay. So the important one is that if you don't have anything at all to do on Christmas Day, so Monday the 25th from 6 p.m. GMT, Yogdog is going to be live on Twitch, and he's going to also give away some Steam keys. So I think you'll have a lot of fun, and hopefully also a Christmas gift. Who knows? That can happen as well. Right, so I think that this covers it. Was there any question here? No question? Why are you guys laughing? No? Okay. The guys are laughing on the background because I think they are happy there's no question. I hope that's the reason, but who knows what can happen. Marco, you mentioned last tea time that there might be a possibility of adding an extra game or two to help us spend our slits. Can I request campaign series Middle East and or Vietnam? Are we adding more?
The last 2 weeks of January we're going to add a lot of different games.
You see, I can hear what they're saying. The last 2 weeks of January, Enzo, Michele, and Andrea are going to add a lot of new games so that you can spend your slits before they are reset. So expect more games to be added in January, and especially the last 2 weeks of January when we approach the reset time and date. I think I'm done. I think it's over. Is this the last episode, guys, for before Christmas? I think this is the last episode. Next week, we're all going to be massively drunk, or actually on Thursday next week is one of my son's Christmas recital, so I won't be I won't be around, but this is my opportunity to wish to everyone a massively good Christmas. Enjoy your time, enjoy your families, enjoy your games, have fun, spend a lot of money on Slitherine games. But most of all, I will see you back here on the first Thursday of January for a lot of big news. And I hope that you guys spend a fantastic holiday and open the new year with only positive news. I will see you in 2024. Bye-bye.
The attraction towards new experiences is powerful. Alienware gear isn't made to resist that pull. It's made to accelerate it, to transport you to new places where you can embrace difference and leave familiar behind, bringing you ever closer to the ultimate experience. See you on the other side.